What's up, everybody? Today we're bringing you a review of Duke Nukem Forever. So this thing was supposed to get released, like 14 years ago, in the late 90s, I think 98 or something like that. I'd like to clarify first, in all reality, there's no way this game has been actively developed for the last 14 years. And so, I'm seeing that kind of as an urban legend that's been going around within the video game community. But there's no way in heck they've been developing this thing for 14 years straight. This would cost more than blockbuster, 10 different blockbuster films combined if they're working on it for 14 years. That's insane. So, what's happened is it's been dropped off as everybody's bastard child for the last few years through several different companies, and ended up in Gearbox and 2K's lap. Now, reality, because of this myth has been perpetuated so much, this game's not going to live up to everyone's expectations. Just get that out in the open. That's reality. If you look at it in that context, this game will suck to you. So just get that out of your head ahead of time. What they did try to do is recapture the charm of the 90s. And I think they did that pretty well. Unfortunately, that's probably its best selling point. This game is... it's been lambasted in popular media by all the reviewers and everybody. They just are destroying this thing. And I gotta tell you, I've gone through it, and it's not nearly as bad as they say it is. It does have some bad points, and I'm just gonna go through some of that. Right, I'm gonna go through the whole thing right now and give you my honest opinion on what I think of this game. First off, I gotta preface this by saying that, most of the people that are listening to this review probably were in diapers in '96 when Duke Nukem 3D came out. But, those of us that were of age to be playing that game, it was amazing. It was great, and this game has that same nostalgic feel to it, and it's that same cheeseball one-liners, womanizing raunchiness, lame jokes and mildly amusing one-liners that made this game, good for us in the 90s. Now, does this live up to the standards of a current shooter? Absolutely not. So, it's just, if you got to look at it in a certain context. And this game is not a modern first-person shooter game of the year contender. The story is pretty lame. I mean, but for 90s games, those of you who played those, I mean, it was that was the norm, right? And again, I really believe that they were attempting to grab that same kind of feel that not when the first one, it's like a third one in the series, but when Duke Nukem 3D came out. So there's lots of cool weapons. Some of the puzzles are clever and enjoyable. Some I'll get to my gripes about them later. There are lots of Easter eggs in this game. Now, if you have any kind of in-depth video game knowledge at all, you've played a lot, you know a lot of different genres, you are going to see so much, an incredible amount of Easter eggs in this game. I mean, I was hitting them every 15 minutes today. I was blown away, and I wasn't even using the guide or anything. I was just running across these things randomly, or things that he says, or little pieces that you come across. It's kind of neat. And for those of you that are longtime video game fans, it's kind of a little history lesson or a reminder of what was going on. Now let's get to the bad of this thing. The graphics are dated. I mean, really dated. They're subpar for a modern game. For a game that I'm gonna pay $60 for at the store, they are subpar. I'm playing on the Xbox, by the way. I heard that the PC has better graphics, but I have not seen that or had an opportunity to play on it yet. There's pretty ugly screen tear on this, and the level design is crap. It's nothing remarkable. It looks like an old Quake game. It's pretty sad that they didn't put much effort into it. The controls are like uber clunky. This is an old school run and gun, spray and pray, however you want to call it. You spend as much time retreating as you do going forward. you know, some of the things that are really annoying about the whole game is you can only carry 2 weapons, and it's like I'm playing frickin' Halo. What's the point here? It's lame. And the first-person platforming, which they seem to freaking love in this game, is bullshit. I can't stand games that force me to first-person platforming. But again, you know, that's stuff that you had to do. You know, whatever. It's to each their own. I didn't care for it. It takes an insane amount of bullets to kill an enemy, and they mop you up pretty quick. Again, that's like another old school thing. You know, if you remember that back in that genre, the Duke Nukems, the Dooms, the everything back then. I mean, you got murked pretty quick by enemies, and they took a bunch of bullets, and it was really a run and gun, circle strafing frag fest back in the day. And you know, this again, it maintains that feel. But the thing that's frustrating about this is this game has insanely long load times. And again, I'm on Xbox. I don't know, you know, what you guys are playing on, or if it's the same on PC or on PS3 or whatever. But the load times are out of control. It's like 45 seconds to load a game. You know, it's just it's something that's frustrating to me, anyways. You know, for being as long as they've been working on this, this game is remarkably unpolished. You know, it's just not anywhere where you would think that even if it's been developed off and on, like I said, over the last 14 years, that means there had to be a good several year block of actual work time during that point in time, and it just doesn't look like that. You know, I've been looking forward to this game since they announced it, and when I heard Gearbox is taking it over, I was pretty excited. But you know, I didn't expect much. I didn't. If this was a port from the 90s, or it was a game from back then, this would be a great game. We'd be, you know, this was awesome. You know, there'd just be so much. Everybody would be happy about it. It does succeed as a throwback game, but does not succeed as a shooter, in my opinion. And in all honesty, the nostalgia only goes so far. And I gotta tell you, this is pretty depressing to me, because I really, really wanted this game to be good. I wanted this game to be amazing. And, you know, for the most part, it is entertaining. I'm enjoying it. But, you know, again, I have that nostalgic attachment to this game. Because, you know, back when I was a teenager and this 3D came out, you know, this is like recapturing that for people in my age range. Now, a bunch of you younger folks and guys, you know, you're probably going to hate this because you have zero nostalgic attachment to this, you know. And so I can understand that. You know, I kind of found this game to be pretty disappointing. Now, one thing I will say is it's probably possible that Gearbox grabbed this, took the code they had, you know, added a few things to it, and pushed it out the door just to make a bunch of money right off the bat. But what they did do is buy the name. So it wouldn't surprise me if, since this is getting blasted so much, that they come back 5 years from now with a completely rebuilt engine and just use that, I know, not necessarily an engine, but a completely rebuilt game from the ground up. And, you know, they use the Duke Nukem platform and the name and the recognition to launch a new product, a better product. And it wouldn't surprise me again. So, you know, basically, but let me hit multiplayer real quick. Multiplayer it's for the lulz. I mean, this is not a serious multiplayer game. It is, if you guys played like Quake back in the day, or Unreal Tournament, where it's a big gigantic circle jerk frag fest strafing nightmare where you die every 3 seconds and end up with like a 1.5 KD on top of the board, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you think you're going to use precision and skill, you're going to get mopped up. This is spray and pray frag fest, and really there's not much more to say than that. The level design has left a lot to be desired. I think this is another one of those following the trends. We're just going to throw a multiplayer on there because we think it'll attract more people. But, you know, it's not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good. So, in summary, I enjoy this game personally. I can understand why people don't. Uh, if you're a fan of Duke Nukem in the series, this is definitely worth picking up. Um, there's a lot to be said for it. And if you're a fan of video games in general, I recommend picking it up. But again, I was pretty honest with the problems it does have, and I hope that you guys would see that, and if you're actually listening to this all the way to the end. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. That really does help. Thanks.